be touching anything. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Shalom. I want to welcome everyone to King James Bible University. I'm Elder Michael Johnson with the Lost Sheep of Israel. And today we're going to be going through a lot of interesting things, which I wanted to come on earlier, but had a few issues, a few places, but all those are taken care of. So what we're doing, because we was putting in two places and somebody did something wrong, but that's okay. We still got everything straightened out before the time, but I wanted to come through early to where we can actually do a few other things, because we want to show you what some people need to be doing as we'll be getting ready to where we'll be going through a lot of different teachings as we'll be going through later, to which you'll need to be able to understand on how you need to be able to precept the Bible. Because over here, which if you haven't joined on the precept side where precept mastery is, you need to join over there, because what's going to be happening over there, that's what everything going to be on that side as far as what we're going to be going through today. So what I'm going to do is, while we have some time, is show you what you need to be doing somewhat, to where you're going to have to like register. You need to register over with the Moab, which we're going to show you that some things you can do there, and basically some of the things or some of the tools you'll need, because there's really only one tool you'll need to help you do it. You know, mainly pencil and paper and do it, but what we're going to do, we're going to focus in on precepts and basically what we do, to how we come to the arrival of what we under Bible understanding. 2, we're also going to be looking at family reunion. What is that about? We're going to find out what that is all about, because family reunion is very important. We're going to be marching through the Bible in different areas, and you will be meeting Israelite people in the Bible. Some you never known, some you didn't know nothing about, and some you have known, but then it's things that you didn't know about them. And we're going to precept this to where you can have exact things to go through, and this will help you understand the Bible at a more alarming rate. Why? Because now you can be able to pinpoint people and tie them to other people within the Bible. And this will help you in a great deal, even in your studies. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to show you where you need to go. So if some people don't know, you need to go over here. You need to go here to the moab.com. If you haven't had a chance, go over to the moab.com. Let me get that one part out of the way. And what we need to see is right here. Once you get here, you need to at least, if not, sign up. You go to Precept Mastery right there. You'll see that right there. You click right here where it says Precept Mastery Registration. You need to register right there. It comes up to where you can register. It'll allow you to register to do everything. Now, once you register, you'll come over, because there's some interesting things that's happening within this. So once you register, you can actually start logging in and logging out. Once you're going to log in, and I'm going to show you how this actually works. And basically, once you log in, right now you don't see anything up here. You technically don't see nothing up here, but you know the links and everything, which we're going to be able to see. However, you see nothing up there currently right now. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to log in. And I'm going to log in, and then what we're going to do is see something that's different. And I'm not going to save that password. Now, it's everything normal, but now you see something that says take notes. Why? It's very important on what's going on. Very important on what you're getting ready to see. Because now once you start going through here, you can start taking notes, which we're going to find out. So now we're going to go back to Precept Mastery. Over here we have Lo. I come in the volume of the book. This is where we're doing the studies, everyday study from Monday through Thursday. We're going to march through the Bible. We're going to precept our own Bible, where we can convert them over into an EPUB, where we have a digital electronic Bible that is actually precept, or you can also print that book out. And we're going to click on that. So we're going to click on it, and what's going to happen here, you're going to go through here, and you can see where you can look at the videos here. But this is something a little bit different. If you don't want to go through YouTube, you can actually go here, and they're all right here to where you can go through each one. They're all right here. So it's automatic. But then if you want to see other studies that is done that's from there, you have, personal understanding, precept teaching. Excuse me. So if you want to see those, you can sit there and go through this. This is 9 videos over here, which you can go through. Don't be like Cain, because many of us are. You see many different things to which you can get the understandings on many of these teachings. But what about if you want to take notes? You want to take notes and you don't have a pen or paper handy, which you need to always have them. You can click on that take notes. Once you are logged in and you are a registered user of this site, you can log and take notes. And it's telling you right here, it's already giving you the heading that's right there. And it's precept understanding of teaching. But here you can even change it. And if it was on here with Leah, you can actually change that to there. But then you can start putting in your notes or whatever you want to do right here. You can save it, which it'll save it online for you over here, because it'll hold it under your own account. You can go back and view all your notes. You can print it out, or you can send it to your desktop, which that's the one right there. So if you want to send it to your desktop, it's clicked as a Word doc. So it's letting you know, just click on that and it goes directly to your desktop. This allows you to do your notes and everything that you have. That's the thing that this site going to be running. It's going to be running a lot of things to help you do many things. And mainly what we have to do, what we're going to do, we're going to still look at some other things. So how we're going to be running a lot of stuff, a lot of on these Fridays, what we're going to be doing, especially when I go in the back and we're doing precept teachings, we're going to be using a lot of the Preceptor. Meaning what? A Preceptor allows you, which I can actually pull it up, but we're going to go, let me go over there to it. And let me go over to the store to show you basically what you can do. Actually, you got it right here. Well, no, that's the main, that's the other one. But let's go here. Let me get to the other one. And basically, what you're going to do, you're going to find out. Let me see. Let me put it this way to where I can find it. And this is what we're looking for. So this is the main one that you want to look for. And basically what's happening here, you can go from the 49, you can pay 49 all the way up to 349. The 349 is a life version, which it is a life precept study tool. What happens there? That tool allows you to literally, it eliminates the commentaries, it eliminates Bible dictionaries, it eliminates your history books, everything, and all you will be using is the Bible itself. This is what helps you do this. This is why it's more important to go through there, and it'll help you distinctly to where you can actually go through the Bible to where you can stay pinpointed on what's going on. That's what's happening here. That's what this Bible Preceptor is for. So it has many options you can go through here. And now I used to use a paper version on how I do all my precepts. This is what I use. I use the same thing, but I use the paper version of doing this. And now we have an electronic version, which you can actually do this online, which you're going to be seeing in a little while. This is what we're going to be doing. Why? What do this do? This replaces. I'm talking about unreal numbers of books because you don't need them. It replaces unreal numbers of commentaries because you don't need them. Dictionaries, you don't need them. All you need is one tool to actually get through what you need to be doing. You can either do that or you do it on paper. But what happened here, you can take this same document that you'll be creating in the Preceptor and what it'll allow you to do to where you can do tons of teachings based on certain subjects. And that's what it allows you to do. So yeah, many people will sit there and say, well, this really don't make any sense, to where I will be going through, some teachings and this don't make sense. Well, let me tell you, when you use the Preceptor, it keeps you focused on what you need to be doing. But what people like to do is try to sell you a book or try to sell you something else. This tool only has in there is the Bible. The Bible is actually in this tool. So other than that, and then what we're going to do is be precepting what's going on. This is the difference with that tool. So if you get a chance, you can go over there. You can get the life study, which you always get all the updates, and you can get that, or you can get it where you get it for a short period of time. However, when you're doing that, that Preceptor allows you to precept the Bible perfectly. If you start going off course, it'll take you completely off course. So you have to stay focused on what it is, because when you see us off course, you know you to turn, and you have to get rid of what that false doctrine was. It removes. It don't have room for you to put commentary, because you put commentary books in there, it's going to screw you up, and it's designed to do that. It's not going to let you put, whoever commentary, Wycliffe and all this kind of craziness. It's not going to allow you to put them in there, because you're going to come up with false doctrine as soon as you start precepting it at the top. It's going to start clashing. Once it starts clashing, you're going to see it's not going to make any sense, which is going to make you have to take everything out. That's why it's designed this way. That's why once we do precepts, it makes you focus in on what you have to actually do. We're going to see some of that when we start this up. So, cause what I'm getting ready to do right now, I'm getting ready to set up. And actually, I got to clear out, because I was actually doing some work on something else. And I need to take those out. So let me take these out. And we're going to get ready to start going through what we're here for. We're here for the family reunion. We're going to start meeting people in here. So if you get a chance, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to make sure that you learn. So let me get my mug out the way. We're going to get in here. We're going to start precepting some things. We're going to start finding out some information. And we're going to meet one of you guys' cousins, uncles, brothers, someone. But we're going to find out who he is and what he's all about. We're going to find out some things that are very interesting. So let me move myself out the way. And let me move this down. I got to move this. Let me move this all the way down here. So now this is the Preceptor. This is the tool that we were going to use, that we're going to be using to find out what is going on. And actually, I got these here. I need to put these this way before we start selecting. As I say, I was doing some other work here. So let's get this all set. But this is a Preceptor. In the Preceptor, this tool allows you to focus in on what we need to do. It allows us to go in to make sure exactly what we're going to precept, or the verse we're trying to understand, or a person or a people. When we're trying to understand it, this is going to make you stay focused on who this is. That's what this does. That's what it's designed to do. If you get the life study, you'll be able to save it, and you'll be able to make other ones, and as you go through it. Now, if you look at here, you look at the top, you see where we're doing Zimmer, which this is what we're going to be working on. So we're going to put here, and I want everybody first. Everybody first. What I want to do, because we have many people already have the Preceptor. Many people already have the Preceptor. So what I want you to do first, go up here and you click on File, Save As, File, Save As, and then it's going to tell you choose a different folder. If you're using the once you do that, you click on that. But what I want you to do, I want you to name the file, Family Reunion Zimmer. That's what I want you to name the file. And now you choose wherever you want to save the file. I can't tell you where you're going to save it. You can save it to your desktop. You can save it to My Documents. You can save it wherever you're going to save it, or make a folder. And that's what I prefer you to do. Make yourself a folder and call your folder Preceptual Studies. This is what I want you to do. Call it Preceptual Studies. Make you a new folder. Call it Preceptual Studies. But I want you to name this one Family Reunion Zimmer. That's what I want you to name this. I want to kind of give you time to set this up. I'm trying to give you a little time to set this up. But once this is set up, we're going to hit that, and I already saved mine, so I'm just going to cancel this one. But once we have that, once we have that, you're going to have right up there and going to have Zimmer. But now your slate is still clean. The reason why, so now your Preceptor has another clean slate. So later you can open up another one, and then we're going to be changing it to another one. That's why we're doing that. And they all going to be in one location. So what we want to do here is who. Who, and what we're going to do is, who is Zimmer? Who is Zimmer? Well, what we have to find out. This is what we're trying to see. This is what we want to understand. This is what we want to look at, and we want to put in work, because we know many other places they want to sit and they want to teach a lot of just stuff and about telling you about this or telling you about that and telling you about this, and this is going to be this, and we're going to run into the wilderness, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And we need to be learning about the book. And when you come here, that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn about the book. So, Zimmer, who is this person? Who is this person? So for us, we're going to do a couple of things. I'm going to pull this out, and I clicked on this 2 pages deal. And so if you guys have your Preceptor, click on the 2 pages deal, and I'm going to move this up a little bit. The reason why, I'm going to bring it in a little closer. So if you look there, you see now it's a little bit closer to where you can actually see it. That's why I'm doing that. So now we can look at it a lot closer. So now as we're looking at it closer, I want everybody to understand what we're getting ready to do with the verse, because we got to start finding out who is Zimmer. Who is it? Now we're going to find out some interesting things about Zimmer. Just the name Zimmer. Now, the catch is Zimmer. Zimmer is located when you do a search. And we got to do this. And now I'm going to move this later. I'm going to remove this later. But I'm putting this here so we can just know. He's in 2 locations. In Numbers and in Kings. It's in 2 locations. Zimmer. So when you search this name, you're going to find it in 2 locations. Now, the one we want to look at is not the one really in Numbers. But to get this out of the way, we're going to do that one as we go through. And then we're going to come back later and we'll do the one in Kings. Because the one in Kings is the one we need to focus on. But we need to find out, because the one in Numbers is a short-lived. And we're going to find out some very interesting things just about this alone. That's the good part about when you get a preceptor, because you find out all kind of stuff. I'm talking about, you know how people, you know, I'm a nosy person of the Bible. I love to know what's going on. I want to know, I'm talking about when you get down in there, I want to know what color the dirt was inside the house. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to know. I want to know how many times the locusts came out and ate up the trees. You know, we have to be that kind of nosy. And this preceptor allows you to do it, and then you never get off track. So what we got to find out is what? Zimmer. So we're going to find the first one about Numbers. So we know Zimmer, let's go look at it. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at Zimmer, we're going to look at Numbers 25. Let's go to Zimmer 25. And let's find out something about Zimmer in 25. And let's start the first time he shows up. We want to see the first time he shows up. So we're going to put it up here. I want you to click on the top one. I want you to put in Numbers. And we're going to put in 25 and 14. And actually, we're going to put in 15 because we're going to go to both. So we know there in Zimmer. So this is here where we know where he came on the scene. And actually, we're going to tell you what, better yet, let me take that out. I just want to put that there. And I'm doing that for a certain reason because I want to make sure you guys never get lost later. So this is who he is. So we have to look at that verse to find out what went on. So now it says in Numbers 25 verse 14, it says, in the name of the Israelite that was slain. the name of the Israelite that was slain. This is I'm telling you, this is gonna get really crazy real quick. The name of the Israelite that was slain, even was slain with the Midianitish woman, was Zimmer. So we know Zimmer was slain. Zimmer was slain. So what we're going to do, just to keep some information going, we're just going to put this down here. Just for information, we're going to do something later. So so we're going to find out something. Zimmer was slain. That's all we know. Well, we're going to put that because we know that. So we'll just leave that there. Zimmer was slain. How do we know? It's telling you that in verse 14. So we're saying right here. So we know this. So this is what we know. Zimmer was slain. That's all we need to know. But watch what craziness getting ready to happen. And it says the son of Sil. So Sil is his father. Sil is his father. And then watch this. A prince of the chief among the house, among the Simeonites. This literally got crazy. But watch this. This is going to get really crazy. So we know Zimmer was from Simeon. Zimmer was from Simeon. So he was a Simeonite. So what we need to do is put right here, who was he? But just right here, what? What? But we're not going to put what he is. We're going to put that down here because we need to find out something later. So we know Zimmer. Uh-oh. Hey. So we need to make sure we need to, we want to make sure, what he was. So we know one, he was a Simeonite. All right? So we know this. Because it even says it. So the verse proves this. And we can go more where he was the son of Saul. So we can even put that there. Let me do this. We're doing some changes. We want to do some changes because we want to make sure. What is this? Yeah, they're doing this differently. That's okay. So we know Zimmer was slain. But then Zimmer was the son of Saul, and he was a Simeonite. So we know this. This is what we know, and we're pulling that right from the text. We're pulling this right from the text. But we're going to find out something real crazy. So we know he was killed. But we need some more information. We need to know some more information. So let's look at verse 15. Because we find some real interesting information right there. Some real good. See, he was slain with a Midianite woman. A Midianitish woman. With ISH, meaning she was acting like a person of Midian. We're going to prove all this. We're going to find this out. Because that's what I say. This is getting ready to get real crazy. Watch this. In verse 15, it says, "And a Midianitish woman that was slain was Cosbi." So, and this is the daughter of Zor. He was the head over the people of a chief house in Midian. So we know this. So now in verse 15, we need to just put this information so we can have it. So we have a Midianitish woman. We have a Midianitish woman, and the daughter of Zor. And what we know right here, he was the head over people, as it's saying. Meaning what? A chief. House in Midian. So this is what we know. This is what we know. We know this because how we know it? Because it even says it in the text. That's how we know this. Uh-oh. Let me pull that back up. So this is how we know. Uh-oh, why did it keep doing that? Oh, I keep hitting it. That's why. Let me do it this way. That's why I couldn't. Okay, sorry about that. So we know this. So we know that he was a head. He was the head over people, a chief house in Midian. He a chief of the house in Midian. This is what we know. Why? The text tells us this. The text tells us this. So we done pull some information, and this is in verse 15. So we need to find out, change this a little bit, who, and we're going to change this later, but we want to keep up with who they are. So we know Cosby, and we know this is in Numbers 25:15. This is all going to come together because we're going to have to switch some of this stuff up. But we want to pinpoint who some of these people are. So we know who, Cosby, 25:15. She was the daughter of Azor, which we know that. The head over people. But we have some issues here. See, because it says she was a Midianitish woman. And I'm going to put a comma there. I'm going to put a dash there. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all that in bold. All that in caps. Why? Because ISH is a characteristic. It don't say she was a Midianite. It says she was a Midianitish woman. See, when we have to investigate, we're going to dig down. We want to get all in your business. She was acting like a person of Midian. Why? Because once we investigate, we're going to find out some stuff about her. So first, we need to look at Zor. See, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look at Zor. See, many books going to show him, and they're talking about a king. But is that true? Is it true? So we got to find out, is that true? Is it true that he was a king? We have to go find what this was. So let's go, and we're going to go look at some verses. Let's go look at Numbers 31. Numbers 31. Because we're going to put in who? We're going to put the players in. We got to put the players there. Who? Zor. We just putting the players in place. Who is Zor? We want to put the players in place. Who is Zor? We have to put this player in place. So we're going to look at Numbers 31 in verse 31 in verse 7. We might put another one in place, but we're going to hold it right there. So now we're going to look at Zor and what it says in verse 7. Yeah. Sorry about that. 31:7. Sorry about that. Make sure you do that. Make sure you correct it. 31:7. Okay. It says, and they warred against the Midianites, as Yahweh commanded Moses to slew all males. Now, here go what key. We know that happened. But watch this. We need to put verse 8 there. Let's read verse 8 and let's find out what happened. It says, and they slew the kings. Understand what it's saying. The kings of Midian. Now, this is where we have to understand, and this is where we're going to find out everything, and this is why it's so important to where we have to have it on the Preceptor code so we won't get mixed up nowhere. Now, watch what's going to happen. Watch what's going to happen. It said, the kings of Midian, besides the rest of them that were slain, namely. The rest of them that was slain, namely. So he slew the kings of Midian, besides the rest of them that were slain. Besides the rest of them that were slain. But watch the key here. We got Evi, we got Rakim, we got Zor. Zor, he's right there. Now his daughter is Cosby. But watch this. In Hor and Rebi, 5 kings of Midian. 5 kings of Midian. So right here it's telling you 5 kings. But was he a king? See, the Bible is sitting there, you look like it's telling you that. It says a Midian, and Balaam, also the son of Peor, they slew with the sword. So was there a king? Right here, people say, well, he was a king. But we have a problem. So how was he the head of house? What we see here, because it's telling you, when we look at verse 15 in Numbers, it says that Zor, he was the head over people, a chief of the house in Midian. So how in the world is saying here he's a king? Are you following me? This is the important part. This is why we have to keep these hats on, because right here, clear as day, is saying king in one place, and it's just saying here he was a chief over a house. What is happening here? Is the Bible telling untruth? No. So what is this saying? Because we have here kings, and we just read it was 5 kings of Midian, and it's telling you, and it's naming them, and Zor is named in there. Was he a king? And it's telling you first in Numbers he was the head of a household. This is why it's so important. This is why it's so important to understand. So we got to put this information, and we got to get this. So Zor, what we're going to do, we're going to put slash. Why? Because we want to prove something. Here, it's telling you one thing. It's saying king. So we got king here. But is that true? Is that, or do we understand the verse? Is that true, or do we understand the verse? For us to understand the verse, we got to do some more investigation. Because if he had power over something like other people. So we need to understand what that power was. Meaning what? We have to investigate. We got to go be nosy. We have to be nosy, folks. So we got here where he was a king, and it's just saying it there, but we know in other places in verse 15, it's saying he was the head over people, a chief of the house of Midian. That's all it says. So she was being a Midianite woman because her father had clout with those people. But he was not a Midianite. So how is that happening? Because we got to investigate. We have to investigate. So let's go here. We're going to look at something. We're going to look at something that's really important. We're going to go to Joshua. Joshua. We're going to go to 13 and verse 21. Joshua 13 and verse 21. We're going to put something there, but we're going to go there and read it. We're going to put something there because we're going to find out what that means. 13:21. What that say? It says, in all the cities of the plain of all the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, which reigned in Heshbon, whom Moses smote with the princes of Midian. The princes of Midian. Who? Evi, Rakim, Zor, Hor, and Rebi, which were dukes, not kings. Not kings. So we have a problem here. So here, this same thing, he's called a prince. So this is what you have to understand when you we do this in prince and duke. Why? Why? What do that mean? A prince and a duke. It already told you what he was here. He was over people. He had a job. He was the chief of the house. He had a job. Meaning what? He had power as a prince, but the position that he carried, people looked at as a king. Is meaning the same thing like a person as a governor. You have people even here that they're governors. They're like the king of this state. You have eunuchs. You have elders. You have officials. You have top-ranking people within an administration to show that for clarity. That means he had some parts of sovereignty of the position he had. That's why he used king. That's why he used king. But we had to find out what was going on, because they were slain. They were slain for a reason. They were slain for a reason. So we had to find out what all of this is about. So we have Zimmer, Cosby, and Zor. Zor is being mixed up for what he is, but we know he's just a chief. He was just running the house. He had some sovereignty to him, but he wasn't a king. As what they sit there, king over a providence. He didn't have that kind of clout. He had a position of administration. That's why it tells you over here what he was. This is why his daughter was acting as a Midianitish. She was acting like them. Why? Because her father carried weight with them. So she acted like them. So we need to find out what's going on. We need to find out what is happening with this here, because it just told you just don't make any sense. So let's go back and pull some history. Let's put on our thinking caps and find out what happened. What happened and what we got to do. What happened. So what we need to do for this family reunion, we got to find out some things. What happened? We need to know what happened. What happened? Let's look at this. Let's go back and we're going to look at Numbers 25. Numbers 25. And let's see something. It says, "And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto sacrifice of their gods. And the people did eat and bow down to their gods." Now, we already know this is a problem, but we just trying to see what happened. So we're going back to look at the verse to see what we can figure out. We have to investigate this. We have to investigate this, and we have a lot of information just right here. But once we got all this here, and he's calling himself, he calling him the king, but we find out he's just somebody just running the house. But we have a problem with her because she is acting like a Midianite. But we found out why, because her daddy was carrying weight with them. And we know that Zimmer was a Semonite. So we need to find out what's going on. Now, but we find out right now they was bound down to their God. And it says that Israel joined himself to Baal Peor and angered the Lord and was kindled against Israel. So we know that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. So we're gonna read some more before we start plugging that in, because we want to make sure we dead on before we plug that in. We want to make sure we dead on. Let's move down to verse 4. And it says, "And Yahweh said unto Moses, Take all the head of the people." Now he's going to take all the head of these people. And do what? And hang them up before Yahweh against the sun, that the fierce anger of Yahweh may be turned away from Israel. So he's telling Moses to take these dudes' heads off, to put them up, to face them a certain way, to show this anger that the Most High had. To show the anger that he had. But it gets better. Let's look down at some more verses. And it says, "And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, Slay ye every one of his men that will join to Baal Peor." Why? Because they had joined themselves to these people. Verse 6. "And behold, one of the children of Israel came out and brought his brethren." We done found somebody of his brethren. See, wait a minute, but you got to remember what he's saying. "Behold, one of the children of Israel came out and brought his brethren." You see that? His brethren. And he's Israel, a Midianitish woman who's acting like a Midianitish woman. She's cool. She's gonna act like a Midianitish woman. Because why? Her daddy got weight, carrying serious weight, so she act like where the weight is being carried. "In the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the congregation. And Phinehas and Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it and rose up amongst the congregation, and took a javelin in his hand and went after the man of Israel." Why? Because of that Midianitish woman. That Israel woman who she's acting the same foolishness as they are. But watch what happened. And both of them, and he went after them into Israel, men of Israel, into the tent, and thrust both them through the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague, they look at that as a plague. Having that mindset, that was a plague. Was stayed from the children of Israel. Seeing that was a plague to them. And those that died in the plague were 24,000. Were 24,000. This is getting deeper. But watch this. We got to pull some more. It says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, have turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake. Among them I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. Why? Because they were worshiping Baal Peor. They were worshiping false idols. Wherefore, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace. So now he's receiving the covenant of peace. And he should have in his seed after him even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God, and made an atonement for the children of Israel by doing what? By killing them too. That's the Most High God. But it gets better. It says, and he shall have it in the seed after him, the covenant and everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for God and made an atonement for the children of Israel. Now the name of the Israelite that was slain. Understand what it's saying? The name of the Israelite that was slain. Now we're at the verse that we have right up here. 25:14, right here. We got it right here. We got a lot of information. The name of the Israelite that was slain, even that was slain with the Midianitish woman, was Zimmer, the son of Saul, the prince of the chief house among the Simeonites. Telling you exactly who they are now. Now we know. And the name of the Midianitish woman was Cuzbah, the daughter of Zor. He was the head over a people. It don't say he was the king. It's telling you right there. But he carried that kind of weight. That's why they said in that manner. The daughter of Zor. How do we know? Because when you go to Joshua, it's going to tell you he's a prince of the dukes. That's why he's going to tell you. He carried weight. It makes it clear. Even in this verse makes it clear because it tells you exactly what he was. It tells you exactly what he was. He was the head over people. It do not say king. It said king in there for clarification because he had some type of sovereignty and carried weight. And in the matter of Cuzbah, the daughter of the prince of Midian, telling you right, you see how he clears it right back up. On the matter of Cuzbah in verse 18, the daughter of a prince of Midian. The daughter of a prince of Midian. So what do we have? We need to put another verse up here because we want to put here, so we want to go back to Numbers. We want to put all of them on the top. We're going to go to 25 and verse 18. Verse 18. And put there, we want to put what they call it. Right here is being called a prince. Right there, he's just being called a prince. This is what the thing is. So we know this prince is mainly just a person who's having an office. But watch what he goes on here. In Cuzbah, the daughter of a prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. So her sister died for this dang false god. her sister died for a false god. Are you with me? So let's go down a little bit more. Verse chapter 26 to get a little bit more information if we need that. And it says, "It came to pass after the plague that Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Eleazar the son of Aaron, saying, Take the sum of the congregation of the children of Israel from the 20 years and upward throughout their father's house that are able to go into war in Israel." So we know here it's speaking about something else, and now the conversation changed. So what was the issue? They was worshiping a false god. How do we know that? All we got to do is go back up, and we're going to look at verse 1 and 2. We're going to also look at also 5. So we look at 1 and 2, and it's telling you, "And they called the people unto the sacrifice their God, and did eat and bowed to their God." So verse 2 is where the problem is. Verse 2, 25 and 2 is where the problem is. Meaning what? What happened? So do this need to stay the same? We do who, what, why, so, or how? What happened? I need to do this. God dang it. It was 20. They worship false idols and eat. Because that's what it says. So right there, we're going to go right back to Numbers. And we got this. So we nailing them down. So we're going to look at right where it was. And we know, and we got verse 2, 25, 2 and 3. So let's look at this. So they worship false idols and eat. 25, 2 and 3. It says, "And they called the people unto sacrifice of their gods." Who? Those Midianitish people. Those Midianites. And then it said what? And sacrifice to their God. And did eat and bow themselves to their God. And what continued to happen? And Israel joined themselves to Baal Peor, and it angered the Most High. So we got this. They what? I can't put that in there. But we just said what? Worship false idols and eat. That's what they did. That's what they did. So how can we correct this? How can we find this out? How can we find this out? See, we have two problems. One, Israel was fooled. How do we know? We can look at the verse. We have to look at the verse to find out how was Israel fooled. And it's all in the verse. We have to sit there and we have to tear down these verses to find out what happened. We have to find out what happened. Numbers, it tells you. We have to use that again. Numbers, it tells you. He was called a prince there. He was called a prince here. But what happened here in Numbers, same place. 25 in verse 18. What happened? What happened? This is what happened. It was wiles and beguile. Actually, that's too much. I can just put beguile. It was beguiled. It was fooled. It tells you that all in the same verse. So what happened? They were worshiping false idols, 2 and 3. And when he got to verse 18, it tells you exactly what was on. So he said, vex, for they vex you with their wiles, wherewith they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cusba, the daughter of the prince of Midian. You see how he's still saying prince. And their sister was slain in the day of the plague. So how can we find out what was they actually doing? Because we see in verse 2 and 3, let's look at that again. We got to make sure what we're doing. It's saying in 2 and 3, it says, and they called the people unto the sacrifices of their God. So they called them, they got them all together as the sacrifices of their God. And what did they do? And the people did eat and bow themselves to their God. So the people ate what they were sacrificing to their God. Didn't he tell you not to do that? Didn't he tell you not to do this? So what else were they doing? They had joined themselves to do something that he hates. They had joined themselves to doing something that he hates. See, and what we have to remember is what these people was about. They had joined themselves to something that was not lawful for Israel. So what was going on? See, the Most High hates that. So we got to do what they was doing as a whole and not just put it under one of the persons that we actually focusing on. So let's look at something, and we're going to pull a piece. Let's go to Numbers chapter 31, verse 16. Numbers 31, verse 16. It says, behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam, false God, to commit trespass against Yahweh in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of Yahweh. So he said, kill them. Because many of them started falling for it. Many of them started falling for it. So we know it was a plague there. So we're going to go here. We can put here, we're going to put a semicolon. We're going to put 31. And we're going to put verse 16. And we can put plague or Peor, you can put whatever, or just leave it there. Just this way. So we know this was a problem. But what we need to do to find out exactly how to get this worked out. Because this hatred was here. So we know what they was doing. But what were they actually doing? Because we already found out they was eating things. So where is this coming from? We need to get some commentary to understand what they dealing with Balaam and all this things. So what were they doing? They was following a doctrine. They was following a doctrine of Balaam. They was following a doctrine. And this was a doctrine. So if we know this to be true, this is what the issue is. Israel is following. Let me do this. A false doctrine. They following this doctrine. So where can we find this? So we're going to put that on down at the bottom. Here. So let's go. We have to truck all the way down at the beginning. We're going to put in Revelations. And you're going to see what happened. We're going to put in Revelations chapter 2, 14 and verse 15. 14 and verse 15. Let's go and let's see what this is talking about. We have to go and see what this is talking about. So Revelation chapter 2, verse 14, it says, "But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold to a doctrine of Balaam." Same we seen in Numbers, same we seen over here. This is what he was doing. Who taught Balak? Talking about the same thing in Numbers. And cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel. They beguiled Israel. Same thing. And eat things sacrificed unto idols. We got all that in Numbers 25, 2, 3, and 30, 31, 16. How? They beguiled them. And we have all this information here on what went on with Zimmer in Kuzma, because she was all puffed up. Her daddy is running things in Midian, so she gonna act like a Midianitish. How many people do that today? So it says what? And they stumbled the block before the children of Israel and eat things sacrificed unto idols. Exactly what they was doing. Exactly what they were doing. And to commit fornication. Whoring around with other gods. Verse 15. "So hast thou also them that hold to the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which thing I hate." So we have here what is actually happening. So what I want you to do, I want you to take this, I want you to save it. I just hit Control Save. I want you to take that, and I already saved it, but you just save this. It should be pointing where you say, and we got to figure out. We're gonna plug in some more of this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have some of you guys going to work on this as we go through. And let me, I need to pull that in there. I just want to do a full width side. I just want to do a full width that way. So what we need to do is find out what was going on here. This is why it's so important for us to know exactly what we need to do. So if we can find out exactly what was going on here, we're going to find out some things that's really interesting and what happened. But we already know kind of already what went on, because the book telling us, one, that they was fooled, they was beguiled. But how? Because they started worshiping this Baal Peor, and this is the works of the Nicolaitans. But then we still know, how were they fooled? They knew who the true God is, so how were they fooled? We got to figure this out. So we got to save this, and then we're going to move forward. We're going to come back and we're going to precept this together. And some people who didn't get a chance to go through it, we will be putting the mine up for you guys to incorporate it, and I have this in the FDF file where you can actually incorporate it into your Preceptor. However, if you have just a file and you think that'll work, it will not work. It actually has to be from the same software for it to actually incorporate itself in there. But we need to find out exactly what was going on here, because once we can find out what was happening, then we can find out, exactly what we need to do. Technically what's going on. So we're going to look at this, we're going to go through it, and as I said, if you didn't get a chance to look at the Preceptor on Sunday, just go through there. If you can get it to where you can go through these studies right along with us, and literally you can go through. So just on this alone, and just to even show you what we're doing, you can even look at this again, and we're going to look at this just on this alone. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 verses which you can completely teach on just on Zimmer. I'm talking about, mind you, we only see him named in 2 verses, but we're finding out a lot of stuff about him in other places. Because you'll see he in Numbers, Joshua. We got information that was on Zohar from Joshua to find out exactly what he was, who was still tied to Zimmer, because Zimmer was tied to Kuzba, his daughter, which we also know they were worshiping and eating a false gods, and they eating these sacrifices. So we found out all this right there. And she's sitting there, she acting like she's a Midianitish woman, and she really was an Israelite. Found out what? Found all this in there. One of y'all cousins. I don't think she's mine, but she's one of you guys. That's what we like to put there. This is what we like to sit there and see. However, this is what happens. So when we're going to come through, we're going to find out a little bit more information. The other one is really off the chain. Because then we're going to find out some stuff on the other Zimmer, which is off the chain. But we need to save those studies, and we got to see how to save this one, because we got 2 Zimmers. The name is spelled exact identical, but they have different characteristics and different things that happen. So we need to find out what's going on here. So we're going to make sure, as we wrapping up on this, to where you're going to save this. Save it, and then you come back. But if you need to, go back in there and you look at it, you check it, you tear it down, and see what other things you can actually find out. You got to see what other things you can actually find out, because there are other things and other ways you can do in here to which you can find out. Because if you need be, you might have to go in here and you might want to put some other information in here to where you're going to sit there and in the same thing. Let me change this, and I'm going to put this here, and I'm just going to put some I just put backdrop information. So I'm changing this to backdrop information to where now I might put whole verses here. I might put whole entire verses here. How? Well, I can go right here, and I can go right in here. Just like I said, we have a Bible in here that we're currently testing. But the same thing is, I sit right here, and we can go down to some of the main verses. But just say, if I was going to put this whole verse in here, and I need to convert this over to where I have a text side, and I forgot how to actually do that. I was doing that on another one, and I believe we was doing it another way to where I can get a 1 second. I think let me make sure. Let me open that up. Oh, there they go up there. So what I want to do is use, I believe it's this one right there. This is the one. So if I want to use, yep, this is it. And I don't want to paste that in there. No, that want me to type. And I do not want to type. Is one that allow me to take the text. I gotta actually find that, because there's one that allow me to take the text, and I gotta find out that again. So give me a time, and I go through and I'll find out what that one is. Oh no! Oh, I think I already found it. Yeah. Nope. That's a strikeout. Don't need that. So I gotta find the one. Is this it? Nope. That's the underline. So those are the ones, And I'm trying to find the one. I think that is it. But I gotta see how to do it again. Yeah, so I'm gonna go through and I'll find that out to which one that I can make sure I can do that on, to where I can put in this entire verse and to put the verses in there to do what I need done. So this is what we need to make sure of, but the main thing is as we going through this verse, we need to be able to clearly put like our comments and add these things in here, which I'm doing some stuff in here right now. And we can sit there and we can look at those when we need to, and we can go through these verses. So this is what we need to be doing, to where we can do this stuff and we can put our comments in, do what we need to do, and be able to go through and completely have our information that we need when we need to go back to it. So these are things we can sit there and do, put them here if we need to. And then if I need to add to it, all I gotta do is click and add to it, or do it however I want to do it. And then when I don't need it, but I can keep all my information right there, close it out, or if I need to do it, it also shows it to me right here. Same as we have these here. So there's many things you can do with this to where we're going to keep up with it, but we got to keep some information there because we're going to find out a lot of information about them to where we have to go out, and when we want to check on them, we'll know what's going on. So we want to make sure we get this right. We want to make sure we have it corrected. We want to make sure you saved it, do everything that we need to do. So next time when we go through here, everybody will be set. So we're going to end this right here, save it, put it away, and then on the next coming of the Sabbath, on that Friday, we're going to come and we're going to finish this out. And this one we will be able to finish out and get everything done. And then we can crank out the next one to make sure we can have that there. And then we're going to see how everything going to blend together, because we're going to put them both combined together, because they actually join together, which is going to shock a lot of people. So with that, I hope that you guys found this very good, to where, hopefully you guys go over there and get the Preceptor. Make sure you have it to where you can see all through here. We never have to go outside the Bible, but you're going to find out many things that you will learn and understand. So with that, I each and every one of you guys, to where we will continue in what is going on, and that what we do here today, that you will continue and just move forward. And from that point on, you will always be with him, and what you will be doing is honoring him and studying just the book itself and not other books. That's the beautiful part. So with that, I bid each and every person shalom.